Imagine a quiet moment, a space where your words hang in the air, waiting to carry meaning. Words have power, more than we often realize. Every time you speak, you have the ability to build or break, to soothe or ignite. The way you communicate shapes your life and the relationships within it. Stoic philosophy reminds us of this power, urging us to choose our words wisely. It teaches that wisdom isn't measured by how much we speak, but by how carefully we do so. Silence, when chosen over hasty or harmful words, becomes a source of strength, a testament to self-mastery. Imagine sitting in a room of friends, the conversation lively and light. Someone begins to gossip, their words dripping with judgment about another person not present. It's tempting to join in. Gossip creates a momentary bond, an illusion of connection. But Stoicism warns against this. Gossip, no matter how innocent it seems, diminishes both the speaker and the subject. It erodes trust, creating cracks in relationships that may never mend. Epictetus advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom reminds us that restraint in speech is not weakness, it is strength. Imagine instead choosing silence in that moment, letting the words of others pass without contributing to the harm. You become a sanctuary of dignity, someone who listens with care but does not spread negativity. Over time, this restraint builds respect, not just from others but for yourself. You realize that by avoiding gossip, you've created space for deeper connections, free from the shadows of judgment. Words spoken in haste are equally powerful, often in destructive ways. Picture an argument where emotions run high, perhaps with a partner, a colleague, or a family member. Tempers flare, and sharp words are exchanged. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to say things you don't mean, words that cut deep and leave scars long after the argument ends. Stoic philosophy teaches that such impulsive speech reflects a lack of inner control. True strength lies in pausing, breathing, and asking yourself, do these words serve a purpose? Will they heal or harm? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Consider this during your next heated moment. Instead of reacting, pause. Let your words emerge from a place of reflection rather than impulse. You'll find that this not only diffuses conflict, but also strengthens your relationships and preserves your peace of mind. Beyond restraint in speech, Stoicism teaches us the value of keeping certain things to ourselves. Take, for example, personal financial details. Imagine sharing every detail of your income or expenses in casual conversation. At first, it might seem harmless, even a point of pride. But over time, such disclosures can breed envy, misunderstanding, and division. Money, as the Stoics remind us, is external to our true worth. Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has little, but the man who desires more, who is poor." By keeping financial matters private, you maintain dignity and protect the harmony of your relationships. Instead of defining yourself by material wealth, you focus on qualities that truly matter: integrity, kindness, and wisdom. You realize that your value isn't in the numbers on a paycheck, but in the way you carry yourself and contribute to the lives of others. Consider also the provocations we encounter daily. Perhaps someone insults you or attempts to draw you into an argument. The natural reaction is to defend yourself, to retaliate. But Stoicism reminds us that reacting to provocations gives power to those who provoke. Instead, we can choose calmness, refusing to let external chaos disturb our inner peace. Gandhi's nonviolent resistance exemplifies this principle. Faced with oppression and provocation, he maintained a calm and steadfast demeanor, proving that true strength lies in self-control, not retaliation. In the digital age, Another dimension of self-control arises: our use of social media. It's easy to share every aspect of our lives online, seeking validation through likes and comments. But oversharing can leave us vulnerable, exposing our personal lives to judgment and exploitation. A stoic approach to social media involves thoughtful restraint. Share what uplifts and connects, but guard your privacy. True fulfillment doesn't come from external recognition, but from inner contentment. Lying is another behavior Stoicism warns against, not just for its impact on others, but for its effect on the liar. Even small lies can snowball, creating webs of deceit that are difficult to escape. Honesty, though sometimes uncomfortable, brings freedom. Freedom from the fear of being caught, from the burden of maintaining falsehoods. Imagine an employee who inflates their achievements to impress their boss. Initially, it might seem like a shortcut to success, but when the truth emerges, their reputation crumbles. The temporary gain of a lie is never worth the long-term cost. Promises carry similar weight. When you make a commitment, it's not just words, it's a reflection of your character. Empty promises erode trust, damaging relationships and your own integrity. Instead of promising what you cannot deliver, let your actions speak. Imagine a leader who consistently breaks promises to their team. Over time, their words lose all value. Contrast this with a leader who fulfills their commitments, no matter how small. Their reliability builds respect and loyalty. Even the seemingly harmless act of mocking others carries consequences. Mockery diminishes not only the person being ridiculed, but also the one who mocks. It's a reflection of insecurity, a need to elevate oneself by putting others down. Keanu Reeves, known for his humility and kindness, offers a powerful counterexample. Despite his fame, he treats everyone with respect, refraining from judgment or mockery. His actions remind us that kindness and understanding are far more powerful than ridicule. Finally, respect for beliefs and confidentiality are cornerstones of Stoic wisdom. When someone entrusts you with a secret or shares their beliefs, they offer a piece of their trust. Guard it carefully. Revealing someone's secret or mocking their faith breaks that bond, creating wounds that are difficult to heal. Instead, listen with empathy and honor their trust. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." These words remind us to act with integrity, not just in grand gestures, but in the small moments that define our character. Through these lessons, we learn that the power of words is not in their abundance, but in their intention. Silence, restraint, and thoughtful speech are the marks of wisdom and strength. By choosing our words carefully, we create a life of depth, meaning, and peace, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Every time you speak, ask yourself, is this necessary? Does it add value? If not, perhaps silence is the wisest choice of all. Imagine standing in the middle of a heated argument, emotions flaring like wildfire. It's tempting to unleash a torrent of words, driven by frustration or anger. But once those words leave your lips, they're gone, irretrievable, with consequences that ripple through relationships and leave scars that take much longer to heal. This is where the wisdom of Stoic philosophy steps in, urging us to pause, to think, and to choose our words carefully. A moment of silence can carry more strength than 1,000 impulsive words. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." This calmness is not just a fleeting moment of serenity, it is a practiced discipline, a choice to hold back when emotions threaten to take over. Think of the power in pausing before speaking. In that moment, you reclaim control over the situation, ensuring your words reflect thoughtfulness rather than reactivity. It's not about silencing your voice, It's about amplifying its impact through intentionality. Consider a time when you shared something deeply personal with someone, only to realize later that it wasn't the right moment or audience. Sharing too much, especially about finances or intimate details, can create unintended consequences. Stoicism teaches us that oversharing often stems from a need for validation or recognition, but it leaves us vulnerable to judgment, envy, or misunderstanding. Instead, a wise person guards their privacy, sharing only what is necessary and meaningful. In doing so, they cultivate respect, not just from others, but for themselves. Imagine a social gathering where someone proudly announces their latest financial success, a promotion, a lucrative investment, or a luxury purchase. At first, people might congratulate them, but soon envy or discomfort can seep in. Others might compare their own struggles to this apparent success, creating an invisible divide. Stoicism reminds us that material wealth does not define our worth. Seneca said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." By choosing discretion over display, we not only protect our peace, but foster harmony in our relationships. The same principle applies to responding to provocations. Imagine someone insults you or challenges your beliefs in a way designed to provoke. The immediate reaction might be to defend yourself, to argue or retaliate. But what if you didn't? What if instead you chose to remain silent, letting their words hang in the air with no reaction to fuel them? This is the path of the Stoic, a refusal to let external events disturb the calm within. In doing so, you demonstrate an unshakable strength, one that comes not from overpowering others, but from mastering yourself. Think of Gandhi, who faced countless provocations during India's struggle for independence. He could have met violence with violence, insults with insults. Instead, he chose non-violence and calm persistence, a strategy that not only disarmed his opponents, but inspired millions. His strength lay in his restraint, in his ability to remain steadfast without succumbing to anger or impulse. Stoicism teaches us that true power comes from this kind of self-control, from the ability to rise above provocations and maintain dignity. In the digital age, this lesson extends to our online interactions. Social media offers an endless stage for self-expression, but it also tempts us to overshare, to seek validation in likes and comments. Every post, every photo shared, becomes a piece of our lives open to interpretation and judgment. Stoicism reminds us to tread carefully, to value our privacy over fleeting recognition. True fulfillment doesn't come from external approval, but from the quiet confidence of living authentically. Lying, too, is a temptation that Stoicism warns against. A small lie might seem harmless, a way to avoid conflict or gain an advantage, but lies grow, tangling us in webs of deceit that are difficult to escape. Honesty, though sometimes challenging, is a foundation for trust and inner peace. Imagine an employee who embellishes their accomplishments to impress their boss. The lie might work for a while, but when the truth emerges, it damages not only their reputation, but their self-respect. Stoicism teaches us to choose truth, even when it's uncomfortable, because honesty frees us from the burden of maintaining falsehoods. Promises are another area where words carry weight. To make a promise is to create an expectation, and failing to fulfill it can erode trust and credibility. Imagine a leader who frequently promises improvements but never delivers. Over time, their words lose all meaning, and their relationships suffer. A Stoic approach is to promise sparingly and only what can be delivered. Actions, not words, become the measure of integrity. By aligning our commitments with our capabilities, we build trust and show respect for those who rely on us. Mockery is yet another misuse of words that Stoicism warns against. It might bring a fleeting sense of superiority, but it comes at the cost of empathy and connection. Mockery diminishes not only the person being ridiculed, but also the one doing the mocking. It's a reflection of insecurity, a need to elevate oneself by bringing others down. Keanu Reeves, known for his humility and kindness, embodies the opposite approach. Despite his fame, he treats everyone with respect, refraining from judgment or mockery. His actions remind us that true strength lies in kindness and understanding. Finally, respecting beliefs and confidentiality is a hallmark of wisdom. When someone shares their beliefs or entrusts you with a secret, they are offering you a piece of their trust. Stoicism teaches us to honor that trust, to listen with empathy and keep confidences sacred. Breaking trust not only harms the other person, but erodes our own character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." These words serve as a guide to acting with integrity in every interaction. Each of these lessons points to the same truth. Words are not merely sounds, they are reflections of our character and tools for shaping our world. By choosing silence over gossip, discretion over display, and honesty over deceit, we create a life of depth and meaning. Our words become instruments of connection rather than division, of wisdom rather than impulse. Every time you speak, you have the power to build or to break, to heal or to harm. Choose wisely. In your words, let others see not just what you think, but who you are. Imagine a moment where you're about to share a secret someone entrusted to you, perhaps to bond with a friend or make conversation more interesting. The temptation might feel harmless, a fleeting decision. But once shared, that secret is no longer yours to keep, and the trust it represented is irreparably broken. Stoic philosophy teaches us the sanctity of trust, how it binds relationships and reflects our character. To betray a confidence is not just a disservice to another, it's a betrayal of our own integrity. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations reminds us, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This simple yet profound principle applies not only to grand actions, but also to the smallest decisions, like keeping someone's trust. Sharing what was meant to remain private may feel insignificant in the moment, but its repercussions ripple through relationships, sowing doubt and insecurity. A wise person values trust as a foundation for connection, choosing silence over the fleeting gratification of disclosure. Now consider dissatisfaction. We all encounter it, when expectations fall short, when others disappoint, or when life doesn't go as planned. These moments test us, inviting frustration or even bitterness. But Stoicism offers a different lens. Dissatisfaction isn't about external circumstances, but how we perceive them. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective is liberating, reminding us that while we cannot control everything around us, we can always control our response. Imagine working tirelessly for a promotion, only to see it given to someone else. The disappointment feels personal, unjust. But rather than dwelling on what you cannot change, a Stoic would reflect, "What can I learn from this? How can I improve myself to be better prepared next time?" By shifting focus from the external to the internal, dissatisfaction transforms from a stumbling block into a stepping stone for growth. The power of perspective also applies to how we handle conflict. In an argument, it's easy to lash out, to escalate the tension with sharp words. But Stoicism teaches us that real strength lies in de-escalation, in choosing calm over chaos. Imagine someone criticizing you unfairly in a public setting. The urge to defend yourself, to retaliate, can be overwhelming. Yet a measured response, or even silence, can disarm your critic more effectively than any retort. Epictetus reminds us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom invites us to master our reactions, turning potential conflicts into opportunities for dignity and grace. The same principle applies to our inner battles with envy and comparison. Modern life inundates us with images of success, beauty, and wealth, making it easy to feel inadequate. But Stoic philosophy calls us to reject these comparisons. Seneca wrote, "He who envies others does not obtain peace of mind." Instead of focusing on what others have, a Stoic turns inward, cultivating gratitude for their own journey. Imagine admiring a colleague's achievements not with envy, but with inspiration, using their success as motivation rather than a measure of your own shortcomings. Gratitude, in this sense, becomes a shield against dissatisfaction. When you appreciate what you have, the noise of what you lack quiets. Picture someone who's faced significant setbacks, a health challenge, financial trouble, or personal loss. Yet they wake each day with a practice of gratitude, finding joy in small blessings, a sunrise, a kind word, a moment of peace. This doesn't erase their challenges, but it equips them to face those challenges with resilience and hope. Another way Stoicism helps us cultivate peace is by discouraging mockery and judgment. Making fun of others might seem harmless or even humorous, but it often reveals insecurity rather than strength. A Stoic refrains from mockery, understanding that everyone is on their own journey, with struggles invisible to the outside world. Imagine someone who faces public criticism, yet chooses to respond with humility and grace, much like Keanu Reeves, known not just for his talent, but his kindness. His quiet strength and respect for others have earned him admiration far beyond his professional achievements. Mockery diminishes both the person mocked and the one mocking, creating division where there could be connection. Instead of judging, a Stoic seeks to understand. This approach not only fosters empathy, but strengthens relationships, allowing us to build bridges rather than walls. In navigating relationships, respect for differing beliefs is equally crucial. Imagine engaging in a conversation with someone whose values or faith differ from your own. The instinct might be to challenge, to argue, to prove your point, but a Stoic approach is one of listening, of seeking to understand rather than to convince. Marcus Aurelius believed in harmony, recognizing that diversity is an inherent part of humanity. By respecting others' beliefs, we demonstrate maturity and foster mutual understanding. This respect extends to how we treat ourselves as well. Personal dissatisfaction, whether with our achievements, our circumstances, or even our own character, is an inevitable part of life. But instead of letting it fester, a Stoic uses dissatisfaction as a guide for growth. Imagine feeling unhappy with your health or fitness. Instead of criticizing yourself, you could set small, achievable goals: a daily walk, healthier meals, more restful sleep. Each step, however small, becomes a victory, transforming dissatisfaction into motivation. The key is recognizing that you always have a choice. You can dwell on what's wrong, or you can focus on what you can change. This shift in perspective empowers you to reclaim control, even in situations that feel beyond your influence. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating positive, constructive thoughts, you create a foundation for a fulfilling life. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that the power of words, perspective, and actions is transformative. Trust is built through discretion, relationships are strengthened through understanding, and inner peace is cultivated through gratitude and self-control. Each decision, no matter how small, contributes to a life of wisdom and meaning. The question is, how will you use that power? Will your words heal or harm? Will your perspective inspire or defeat? The answers lie in every choice you make, shaping not just your path, but the legacy you leave behind. Imagine waking up to a new day, with its own unique challenges and opportunities. The choices you make today will shape your path forward, not just in grand gestures, but in the smallest of actions. Stoicism teaches us that every decision, every word, and every thought has power. It reminds us that while we cannot control everything that happens, we can always control how we respond. This principle, simple yet profound, is the foundation for a life of wisdom, strength, and peace. One of the most important lessons of Stoicism is the value of restraint, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is a form of wisdom, a decision to choose calmness over chaos. Imagine finding yourself in the middle of a heated conversation, emotions running high, and words being thrown like weapons. It's easy to be pulled into the whirlwind, saying things you might later regret. But what if you paused? What if, instead of reacting, you chose silence? In that moment, you demonstrate strength, the ability to rise above the noise and maintain your inner peace. This restraint also extends to our interactions with others. Consider a scenario where someone criticizes you unfairly or tries to provoke you. The natural response might be to defend yourself, to argue or retaliate. But Stoicism teaches us that reacting impulsively only gives others control over our emotions. Instead, you can choose to remain composed, letting their words pass without disturbing your tranquility. This choice is not weakness, it is the ultimate display of self-mastery. The ability to remain calm under pressure isn't just about maintaining peace, it's about setting an example. Imagine a leader who remains composed in the face of a crisis. Their calmness inspires confidence and steadiness in those around them. This strength is not born from controlling the situation, but from controlling themselves. Stoicism reminds us that true power lies not in dominating others, but in mastering our own reactions. Another crucial aspect of Stoicism is the understanding of impermanence. Everything in life is temporary: success, failure, joy, sorrow. By embracing this truth, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the weight of attachment. Imagine working tirelessly toward a goal, only to fall short of achieving it. The disappointment is real, but it does not have to define you. Stoicism teaches us to focus not on the outcome, but on the effort, the process, and the lessons learned along the way. This perspective can also transform how we view failure. Instead of seeing it as an endpoint, we can see it as a teacher. Every failure carries a lesson, an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. Imagine an athlete who doesn't win a race. Instead of being consumed by disappointment, they analyze their performance, identify areas for improvement, and return to training with renewed determination. This resilience is the essence of Stoicism, the ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones. The same mindset applies to how we handle relationships. It's inevitable that misunderstandings and disagreements will arise. But rather than letting these moments create distance, Stoicism encourages us to approach them with empathy and understanding. Imagine a friend who lets you down, failing to meet an important commitment. It's easy to feel hurt or betrayed, but instead of reacting with anger, consider their perspective. Perhaps they were overwhelmed, distracted, or facing their own struggles. By choosing understanding over judgment, you not only preserve the relationship, but strengthen it. Empathy doesn't mean ignoring boundaries or tolerating harmful behavior. It means recognizing the humanity in others, understanding that everyone has flaws and struggles. This perspective allows us to navigate relationships with grace, avoiding unnecessary conflict while fostering deeper connections. It also helps us forgive, not just others, but ourselves. Stoicism teaches that self-compassion is as important as compassion for others. When you make a mistake, instead of dwelling on it, reflect on what you can learn and how you can improve. Growth begins where blame ends. The concept of choice is central to Stoic philosophy. Every day, we face countless decisions that shape our lives. Some are small, like how we react to a frustrating commute. Others are larger, like how we approach a career change or resolve a personal conflict. In every choice, we have the power to align our actions with our values, to live intentionally rather than reactively. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This wisdom reminds us that our mindset, not our circumstances, determines our experience. Imagine someone who feels trapped in their circumstances, a difficult job, a strained relationship, or financial stress. They could choose to dwell on what's wrong, to blame others or external factors, or they could focus on what they can control, their attitude, their efforts, and their next steps. By shifting focus from the external to the internal, they reclaim their power. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but facing them with clarity and purpose. Gratitude plays a vital role in this process. Even in the face of difficulty, there is always something to be grateful for: a lesson learned, a supportive friend, or the simple fact of being alive. Gratitude shifts our perspective from lack to abundance, helping us find joy even in imperfect circumstances. Imagine starting each day by reflecting on 3 things you're grateful for. This practice, small but significant, can transform your mindset, helping you approach each day with a sense of hope and possibility. Ultimately, Stoicism is about living with intention. It's about recognizing that life's greatest challenges are not obstacles but opportunities to grow. It's about choosing your words and actions carefully, treating others with respect, and embracing the lessons of failure and impermanence. It's about finding strength in silence, wisdom in restraint, and peace in the face of uncertainty. Every day is a chance to practice these principles, to shape your life into one of meaning and purpose. The journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about striving to be a little wiser, a little kinder, and a little stronger with each passing moment. By embracing Stoicism, you choose to live deliberately, to rise above life's challenges, and to create a legacy of wisdom and integrity that endures far beyond the moment.